What if I told you that one man, a lawyer, political scientist, journalist, activist, and statesman, carried on his shoulders the dream of a new Nigeria? A man who was not just a leader, but the founder of modern Nigerian nationalism. The very first black governor-general of Nigeria, the first president of the republic, and today, the face you see on the 500 naira note. His name? Nnamdi Benjamin Azikiwe, but history remembers him simply as Zik, the Zik of Africa. This is his story. Nnamdi Azikiwe, fondly remembered as Zik of Africa, was born on November 16, 1904 in Zongoro, Niger State, to Igbo parents from Onitsha in present-day Anambra State. Growing up in the north, he quickly picked up Hausa, the dominant language of the region. Later, he was sent to live with his grandmother and aunt in Onitsha, where he learned his mother tongue, Igbo. His father's postings also took the family to Lagos, where Azikiwe became familiar with Yoruba culture and language. By the time he was a young man, he could speak fluently in Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba, a rare gift that reflected the diverse Nigeria he would one day help to shape. If you are new to this channel, don't just watch, be part of the journey. Hit that subscribe button now and join a community that grows with every video. Back to our story. His formal education began in Onitsha, where he attended Holy Trinity School and Christ Church School, two prominent mission schools. In 1914, after completing elementary studies, he moved with his family to Lagos, attending the Wesleyan Boys High School, now Methodist Boys High School. In 1920, another transfer took the family to Calabar, where he enrolled at the Hope Waddell Training College. It was here that Azikiwe encountered the ideas of Marcus Garvey, whose teachings on black pride, unity, and liberation would leave a deep mark on his nationalist philosophy. In 1925, Azikiwe crossed the Atlantic to the United States in search of knowledge and opportunity. His time in America was anything but easy. He worked odd jobs, sometimes endured hunger, but never lost sight of his dream. He studied at institutions including Storer College, Howard University, Columbia University, and the University of Pennsylvania, eventually earning multiple degrees. At Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, he obtained both bachelor's and master's degrees, before going on to secure a second master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania. While pursuing his education, Azikiwe also became a columnist for African-American newspapers such as the Baltimore Afro-American, the Philadelphia Tribune, and the Associated Negro Press. Immersed in the ideals of the African-American press, Garveyism, and Pan-Africanism, he sharpened his vision of a free and united Africa. Armed with knowledge and experience, Azikiwe returned to West Africa in 1934, first settling in the Gold Coast, modern-day Ghana. There, he founded a nationalist newspaper and mentored a young Kwame Nkrumah, who would later lead Ghana to independence. In 1937, Azikiwe returned home to Nigeria and launched the West African Pilot, a newspaper dedicated to exposing colonial injustices and inspiring the Nigerian people. With its bold headlines and accessible style, the paper introduced popular journalism to Nigeria and became a rallying point for nationalist movements. Journalism soon led Azikiwe into politics. He first joined the Nigerian Youth Movement and, in 1944, co-founded the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, NCNC, which quickly grew into one of the most powerful political organizations in the country. By 1948, he was elected into the Nigerian Legislative Council with the backing of the NCNC, and in 1954 he became Premier of the Eastern region. For 5 years, he used this platform to champion education, political awareness, and unity among Nigerians. But Azikiwe's growing influence also inspired a younger generation of fiery nationalists. In 1946, a group of radical youths, Kolowo Balogun, Roji Abdullah, Osita Aguna, M.C.K. Ajeluchukwu, and Abayadan Aloba, formed the Zikist Movement, naming it after Azikiwe's ideals of Zikism. The movement, though non-violent, was bold, uncompromising, and more radical than the NCNC itself. The Zikists saw themselves as defenders of Azikiwe's life and ideals, rallying youth across Nigeria against colonial oppression. Their rise alarmed the British authorities, who in 1950 banned the movement outright, declaring it an unlawful society. Though short-lived, the Zikists left behind a legacy of courage and youthful defiance that strengthened the nationalist struggle. As premier of the Eastern region, Azikiwe focused on transforming the economy. He spearheaded industrial and infrastructural projects, establishing the Nigeria Cement Company at Nkolago in 1955, Niger Gas, and the country's first steel company, Niger Steel. He also founded the African Continental Bank, ACB, the first indigenous bank in Nigeria, sparking competition that led other regions to establish their own banks. His government launched the Eastern Nigerian Development Corporation, which invested in industries ranging from textiles to vegetable oil refineries and chemicals. Perhaps his most enduring legacy was the creation of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Nigeria's first full-fledged indigenous university, established in 1960 to provide higher education free from colonial dominance. As independence drew near, Azikiwe led the NCNC into the landmark 1959 federal elections. Though he managed to form an alliance with the powerful Northern People's Congress, MPC, real power went to Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, who became Nigeria's first prime minister. Azikiwe, nevertheless, was given prestigious and symbolic offices, first president of the Senate, then governor general, and ultimately, in 1963, Nigeria's first president when the country became a republic. Even in his later years, Azikiwe remained a revered figure. In 1989, the world was shaken by false reports of his death. Ever witty, he reassured Nigerians, saying, "I am not in a hurry to leave this world, because it is the only planet I know." When he finally passed away on May 11, 1996, at the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital in Enugu, at the age of 91, Nigeria wept. He was honored with a state funeral by General Sani Abacha's government, and his body was taken to different cities across the nation for tributes before being laid to rest in his hometown, Onitsha, on November 16, 1996, what would have been his 92nd birthday. If this story resonates with you, join our growing archive of legends and icons, subscribe, ring the bell, and be the first to uncover the next story. Beyond politics, Nnamdi Azikiwe was deeply rooted in his culture and traditions. In 1946, he was inducted into the prestigious Agbolan Society of Onitsha as Nanenyayo, a mark of honor reserved for men of great accomplishment. 16 years later, in 1962, he rose to become a second-rank Red Cap chieftain, the Oziziani Obi. And in 1972, he reached the pinnacle of traditional recognition when he was installed as the Owelosowaonia of Onitsha, a first-rank, hereditary Red Cap nobleman, forever enshrined among the Nike Yoemi of his people. His influence extended beyond politics and culture. Between 1961 and 1966, Azikiwe served as Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, an institution he had fought to establish. He was also a passionate promoter of sports, serving as president of several sporting organizations, including football, boxing, and table tennis. A thinker as much as a statesman, he authored works such as Resurface Africa, 1937, which captured his vision for an awakened continent, and his autobiography, My Odyssey, 1970, where he reflected on his extraordinary journey. Today, his legacy lives on not just in books and history lessons, but in monuments that bear his name. The Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu, Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka, the Press Center at Dodon Barracks in Lagos, and even Azikiwe Avenue in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, all stand as living memorials to his enduring impact. His portrait continues to gaze out from Nigeria's 500 naira note, a daily reminder of the man who shaped a nation. From a boy in Zongoro who mastered Nigeria's 3 major languages, to a journalist who battled colonialism with his pen, to a leader who built lasting institutions in education, banking, and industry, Nnamdi Azikiwe's life was nothing short of monumental. He lived not merely as a politician, but as a symbol of hope, unity, and possibility for an emerging nation. To this day, he remains immortal in the story of Nigeria, forever remembered as the Zik of Africa.